Hi everyone, it's Lori with Main Street Gardener and welcome to my garden. I'm a garden in Zone 7B and today we are going to do my May garden tour. I am so excited to share with you all the beauty that has emerged and what it looks like in spring. Now we have had a slow start to spring. I would say we are about 2 to 3 weeks behind what we've been the past couple years. So it's been really interesting. April was a very hard gardening month. We had a lot of rain, which we need. We had really cold days, windy days, and then we had some nice warm sunny days. So it's been hard to get gardening jobs done. So I feel like I've just been chasing the garden. But finally, it's the middle of May. I think I have most of the early spring weeding done, mulch done. I've done almost all my containers. I'm so excited to show you how they're progressing. And I redid 2 garden spaces and they are starting to look beautiful. Now there is still some areas that I want to tweak this season. I'm really excited to get out to some of my local garden centers. We also have lots of plant sales in our area. And I'm looking for things to add to the shade garden. I'm looking for some ground cover. That's what I want to focus on this growing season is a lot of ground cover. I already have a lot of ajuga, but I want to add some more to the mix. So if you have recommendations, let me know. Really want to get more covered, which means less mulch, more nutrition for the plants, and just an overall beautiful garden. All right, I think we should get started before it gets too busy outside. I tried to get up really early this morning, and the bees and the birds are going crazy behind me. I can actually hear some bees back here in one of the flower beds. So let's jump in, and I'm just going to walk you through the garden, most of it today. So it's probably going to be a long video. All right, let's get started. And before I do that, please click like, subscribe. I would love to have you as part of our garden community. It's growing and I'm just really enjoying getting to know so many people from all over the world. All right, let's get started. So I thought we'd start right here today. This is the incredible, it is a honeysuckle trumpet or trumpet honeysuckle. So it resembles a trumpet vine, but it is not invasive like a trumpet vine. I'm not getting suckers under the ground everywhere, but it has these gorgeous little honeysuckle type or trumpet type blooms. So it's more of a honeysuckle vine with these almost trumpet-like blooms that the bees, hummingbirds, everything love. Now, I did not trim this. It mainly is growing on this side. I did not trim it over the winter or early spring. And I probably should have. It needed a haircut, but I just love it. I just love the sweeping nature. Once it finishes this first flush, I'll probably give it a nice haircut so it will continue to grow. My goal is that it will grow over. It is kind of stuck right now, so I need to get the big ladder out and do some work. Now on this side, I do have a beautiful clematis and I have a mystery rose that I'll tell you about in just a minute. So let me show you this up close. I love these trumpet honeysuckles. I have actually a pink one I'll show you, and I just planted one out in the shade garden. And this one matches the one that my mom had that is on a trellis. I'll show you her trellis. I had to give that one a really big haircut this winter. So this border is the smaller side. The to my right side is a little bit larger. This little border bed has become one of my absolute favorite spots in the garden. So I filled this spot. It used to be raised beds 2 seasons ago, and I replaced those in the fall. I took them out and we filled it with great compost and then of course mulch, but I transplanted plants from other garden spaces. I moved things that needed more sun, and then I also added some of my favorite things. So what I love most about this garden bed is it really has from early spring through right at frost interest. And then it has winter interest as well. I think what I love most is the colors, and it just kind of happened. But I think it's a great example I've got the icy blue of the lamb's ear down here. This is Helen Bonstein. We've got the Sunshine Ligustrum, a southern living plant, in the back. These are just in second year. And then I've got some boxwoods popped in. I have Sweet Spire by Proven Winners. And I have a gorgeous viburnum. I have no idea what brand that is, but it is a white viburnum. And it had just gorgeous white pom-poms all over it, but we had a lot of rain and that all, of course, fell down. I have some gladiolus coming up, and then I have a lot of nepeta and grasses. This is a variegated phlox that's coming up, and some little alliums. And then for summer interest, this is an Atlas rose. It's decided to get really tall. And then there's Veronica. I have another little climbing rose at the top. And in the back, this is a white chiffon Rose of Sharon, or it may be the blue one. I'm trying to remember. This one's the white one. So it's a gorgeous white, kind of brightens up the space. Now, I'll tell you one thing in this bed that is going to need an adjustment. Let me show you a closer view. So I'll let you look a little bit closer at this garden space. The boxwoods in the front are Chicago hardy. I talk about them probably in many videos. This is going to be their year to either shine, or I'm going to replace them with something that's going to be hardier and taller. They got significant winter damage this year. I have treated them with a boxwood treatment, so we'll see how they respond to that. And we are getting so much rain that I'm hoping that they bounce back. So here's all these beautiful colors. So this Spirea is one of my favorites. This is one of the Proven Winners. It stays more chartreuse. And then next to it is a beautiful butterfly bush. I also thought I had lost it. It's coming out. It gets very large and fills in that entire space. And it has gorgeous pink blooms. And so that is going to really pop against all this green and gray-green colors. And then I have the Cat's Meow Pajamas, is this Nepeta in front. I do want to get one more for that spot. And I'd like to pop some more in the garden. It does so well in my area and zone, and it's beautiful all season long. I really like the pop of blue. I want to add a lot more blue to my garden this year, and this bed is definitely one of those spaces. All right, so that's this border bed. Again, the layering, I did cram a lot of things in there. Now, right now, you'll see a lot of daffodil foliage, and that will, of course, be coming out very soon. So this side border strip is very narrow. We have two green giant arborvitaes that we just planted to really, of course, they're going to come into the grass just to provide some strong structure to this garden. We don't have a lot of height besides the Carolina cypress. We do have a borrowed view of my neighbor's incredible holly tree and our other neighbor's gorgeous tree, but I really want something tall structured here. So next to the arb is a baptisia. Now, as that arb grows, I'll have to move it, but it has just a beautiful purple. I transplanted this from another space in the garden, so it's just its first year. And then I've tucked a dahlia in behind it, but I know that this will get large, fill in this space, and eventually I can always move it or move it out as the garden bed grows. Now, this is a spilled wine abelia, or Weigel. It's a Weigelia. I always get those two names mixed up. It's the spilled wine Weigelia, and I have two of these. And this is its third year, and you can just see how incredible the color is. I don't love the structure, but I think once these trees get big, it will be a nice pop. And of course, I can always shift it into the garden. I have some irises that have been here ever since we moved in. They're getting ready to open up. And then the other tree, of course. So this bed, I just kind of almost ignore it. I do pop some dahlias in it, but over time, this may be where we do some addition to the garden as soon as these trees get a lot bigger. Now in this corner, I have a gorgeous tutor to kind of frame this corner. And again, I decided to use that honeysuckle trumpet, but this one is in a pink and it has a very different bloom. Hoping the camera picks it up. And I think it's beautiful. It gets real purpley. It has purple tints as well as the pink. And it's just going to be beautiful. Now in this trellis also is a clematis. You can see she's going a little crazy, but she's got buds all over her. And I can't remember what color. I think she's a traditional kind of blue. So I originally had the clematis in here probably 2 years ago, but she just wasn't taking off. I think because maybe of the shade. So I went ahead and added the honeysuckle. And of course, it is doing phenomenal. So next up are the two crabapple beds that we flank the patio with. These two beds were my original vision for the garden. So I wanted these gorgeous trees here. I love crabapple trees. They're probably my absolute favorite for many reasons, but I think the main reason is there's really 4 seasons of interest. So I'll try to find an image of when they were in full bloom. Absolutely gorgeous. After full bloom, the leaves have a little tinge of red. Now, this tree version that I have is a persistent crabapple. You do want to check for that. The old-fashioned ones are not this way. But you can see now they are starting to form these beautiful little berries. And these will continue to form all season. They get redder and redder until winter. And then in winter, the birds devour them. There's never any mess. And the tree is just gorgeous all season long. It also has fall foliage. So I can't recommend crabapple trees enough. Just be sure to check the variety. Now, because when I planted these trees, they were babies, this garden has definitely changed. 2 years ago, I had to move some plants out of it. And this year, I had to move my large roses out of it because it has truly become a shade garden. Now, I originally planted this big limelight hydrangea, and she is just getting really big and beautiful. Next to her is I think it's a Bobo hydrangea. It's a smaller. She stays this size and is really well managed and has beautiful creamy white panicles and then a touch of pink. Inside the bed has changed a lot. I've added some ground cover, some ajuga. I have some alliums that actually need to get moved out because they don't get enough sunshine. In the back corner, you can see a peony, and I'm going to show that one to you. And then I filled it 2 seasons ago with hydrangeas, and these are the Early Evolution by Monrovia. I found these at the end of the season. They're setting buds now. They're called Early Evolution because they do start early. They are the first hydrangeas in my garden to bloom. They bloom in these little white powder puff blooms, and then they turn a beautiful shade of pink, and they are beautiful until frost. It is such a gorgeous, easy hydrangea. So if you're looking for one, Early Evolution by Monrovia, I can't say enough. Just beautiful. And they stay about this size. I think this one is probably full grown, which is great. Again, I have some of these beautiful alliums. They are almost out of bloom, but love alliums. And again, I do need to get these popped out of the garden. So this bed has really transformed. I'm adding more ground cover. I planted the hollies that are right here in the back early this spring. So they are compact hollies. They will get about 2 to 3 feet tall. They'll make a nice hedge. And then really from the patio, which is right there, it will just be a nice kind of secret border into the garden. So the bed is doing beautiful. I'm excited to see it in full bloom with the hydrangeas, and that will definitely be starting in our June garden tour and then of course into July. Now the iron containers that I have on each pathway, they flank the garden beds. I actually got these when we started the garden. I got these at a local store. I'll let you see both of them together. And so I've had them here ever since the beginning. And this is what I call my easy gardening spot. So every year, by the time I want to fill these containers, I'm pretty tired in the garden. And so this is my one spot, maybe two spots, where I pick up a container from the local big box store. And I've always used a Proven Winners mix or a Proven Winners container because I know they've been planted very well. They're plants that are meant to last all season. Typically, they're filled with petunias. So, so this bed is coming together. I want to swing around to show you the peonies. So this peony has been, you can see she starts very lipstick pink, lipstick almost red pink, and then she turns into a beautiful pink. That leaf's got something on her. That's an older bloom. I've already cut a bloom back, and this one is, she's been open for a couple days. So this year I think I've gotten 7 blooms, which is probably the largest that she has performed. So she's just doing great in this spot. Then if we come over this way, I need to add some more ground cover, but I have a gorgeous salvia. Now you see the little green things popping up right there. That is all violets, and I have to get in here and dig those out. They will just take over the garden. So this beauty right here is an ethos, a tree peony. You can see she is big. I love tree peonies. If you're looking to get into peonies, I would highly recommend if you have the space. They stay upright. You get so many blooms. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got at least 12 blooms. And this version is yellow. Now, this is the very first bloom. She's just opening up, but they're going to get huge and they are gorgeous. They are such a bright spot in the spring garden, that soft butter yellow. Next to her, because that's about her full size, I have this sweet little pine tree. I picked this up. I had been given a gift certificate to a garden store, and this is a small pine. It's a unique specimen. It stays small and it has a little yellow twinge. Um, and you can see this is some of the newer growth. It's super soft. You wouldn't think that. It does have a little bit of a yellow cast if that bothers you, but I love having just this structure right here. Wasn't sure what to do in this corner, and this little pine fits in perfect. So that's the first crabapple bed. I also want to show you, I have some salvia to plant. Now she's not looking great right now, but I did just plant this Fairy Tale Bride hydrangea. She's a cascading hydrangea. And then next to that is another Weigelia that I think this one is the Sonic Bloom. I think I said earlier spilled wine, but I was at the garden center. This may be Sonic Bloom. There are two, well, there are lots of Weigelias, but Proven Winners has a spilled wine and they have a Sonic Bloom. And I think this one might be Sonic Bloom, but you can check those out at the garden center. All right, let's head over and look at the other crabapple bed. And I also want to show you the patio. So we'll swing over to the patio first. So here's a view of the garden from the patio when we sit and enjoy. It's definitely one of my favorite views. So I always keep this container in the corner. I've had it here for a long time, and I just did a video about this container. It is the top part is a Kinsman, and it has this basket that you get the liner with the holes in it, and it has the tower attachment. I still need to paint my tower, but the plants are going to fill in and cover it. So it's just a fun addition right here on the patio. Now we planted these arborvitaes when we moved in. We had our contractor add these, and they are of course just doing great. They're just going to fill in. They already provide so much kind of just make this area really cozy on our patio and some privacy. So here's a view of our patio space, and we just love it out here. This is our sitting area. And if you didn't watch my winter video, I did this basket on I think it was a mid-March day. This was all plants that I wintered over. The hydrangeas are about to start blooming again, but it's just turned out so beautiful. I do need to cut back the asparagus fern, but I love it filling in this space. So this second crabapple bed is a sister to the one on the right, but it's not a twin sister. So I do have the hollies in the front border, just like I did on the other side. I do have they're going to be yellow lilies. I have the same hydrangeas and a juga. They're just placed differently. This is a larger space. I did add some of these white edged hostas to the garden, and I want to pop some of those on the other side. Also have this little bitty yellow hosta. And then I also have them all filled with some ajuga and hoping that it continues to spread. I have this gorgeous peony here. Now, those two blooms are older, but you can see all the buds on her, and she is just going to be filled and so, so pretty. Flanked behind her is a limelight hydrangea. And then I have another hydrangea over here. I think it's the Bobo. And another peony in the front. And I have a second peony over here in the corner that's just done great. So here's one of the peonies. You can see all the gorgeous buds. I will definitely do a Saturday walk and talk once more of these open up. But we're going to have rain all next week, and I just couldn't wait to show you the May garden. So we'll see more peonies soon. So here's the front of this bed. I did recently transplant this boxwood. I think she's going to fill in this space really nice. And of course, the lilies are going to probably need to be divided. They have grown tremendously. They're the yellow by proven winners. They're not the Stella kind of side of the road lilies. They are the proven winners. They're butter yellow. They're really pretty. Again, some Nepeta. I've struggled with what to put in the front of this bed, and I'm really going to look for some ground cover and some more Nepeta. Another peony here. And these two peonies in this bed have really taken off and are doing great, which is exciting. So as we come along what I call the long border, it's the driveway bed. It's the side that faces our driveway. We have just a variety of plants. So this is a David Austin rose, and this is supposed to be Queen Elizabeth. She has really soft pink blooms. It's just her second year, so I expect her to really take off. I do see we get violets here, and those are poking through. Next to her is a petite micro size butterfly bush, but it did not do well. It got hit. It had come out, and then it got hit with the cold front we had. So it's coming back though, which is great. Don't give up on your butterfly bushes. Over here, this is a flock, and she is fuchsia colored. And I have to tell you, this is a great story. She was, I found her when we were getting ready to do our construction. And she started coming up under this border area here, right on this side border. And so I dug her up, put her in a pot, and it ended up being this gorgeous flock. So I put her back kind of in the same space once we got the garden done. So I have some Baptisia here, which is one of my favorite perennial plants. Look at these blooms, but then the foliage is so beautiful in the garden throughout the growing season. So if you don't grow Baptisia and you can in your zone, I highly recommend it. You also can give the whole plant a haircut, and it will just flush back out in midsummer. So this is the other trumpet vine honeysuckle that I have. Now this one got a huge haircut this year. This one was one that I took from my mom's garden. She moved, and it's on a beautiful trellis. You can hardly see though the trellis, and she just goes wild. So I did give her a haircut. She is still going to need some pruning. I want to kind of keep her in check. So We'll see what she does soon with all that growth. Now coming up in this border, it is really filled in the back with more hydrangeas. There are some spireas, which I love to add to the garden. This is an Oh So Easy rose that I moved up here. I'm hoping it does great in this space. A totem pole grass that's just coming out. And any of these stakes that you see, this is where I have plopped in a dahlia into the garden. And I've got that in my dahlia video. Now, this top garden is brand new. So I'm going to walk you through and tell you a little bit about it, but you'll notice all the plants are really small. So this is going to be a firelight hydrangea, which gets huge. So I'm just waiting for it to take off. I left the tag on this, but it's a Queen Elizabeth rose. I need to cut the tag and put it in my book. This is one that I got for $20 at Lowe's. Now she is also supposed to get huge, so we'll see. I'm hoping that she really fills in this space. I'll have to keep her in check and the hydrangea, but I'm excited for just full kind of privacy here. Now, you've probably heard me talk a lot about Emily Bronte. I had to transplant this rose, and she was in a lot of shock, but she is now covered in blooms. So I'm going to give her this growing season. We'll see how she does. I'm giving her extra love and attention, and I'm hoping once the weather heats up, she'll be really, really happy. All right, let me go turn the camera around, and I'm going to walk you through the rest of this garden. So the star of the show in this garden space is our Jane Magnolia, and she is just, quadruple. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 trunks, and she's just growing up, really shaping up to become a beautiful tree. We have kept her limbed up, and there may be some limbs, I'm thinking like this one, that may need to go over time, but we continue to keep her kind of thinned out and just want her to get large and gorgeous. Now, this driveway bed has been a real struggle for me. I'm not sure why. I probably should have just planted this area with some arbs for privacy and then had the garden on the other side. But I wanted this tree and I thought she would be beautiful here. So I've kind of struggled with what to do in front of her. Now, the bed behind me, which is the other border bed, used to be raised beds. I took them out last fall. So this area is brand spanking new. I did add this gorgeous container, but you can see I'm having to protect everything from the dahlias. So let me just walk you through super fast what's in here. We will revisit this garden as it comes to life since it is all new. So we'll start with the inside of the garden, and there's a couple things to highlight. I did add another Queen Elizabeth rose here, and she has got tons of really big blooms on her. Now the green grassy plants are daffodils that need to be cut as soon as they die back. Now this looks like it's going to have a huge stalk on it, and I'm assuming it's an allium, and I don't remember planting it, but we'll see what that does. And then I transplanted a hydrangea that was more in the shade over here. So I'm excited about that one. I have lots of lamb's ear that's going to get huge, some boxwood, lady's mantle, grasses, some baby hydrangeas that are going to stay small, that are kind of poking up. Now let me walk around and show you, give you a view of this container. It is just coming along gorgeous. Look at these dahlias. They've already started opening up. Isn't that going to be gorgeous this summer? I am just in love with this color combination. The pinks, a little pop of yellow. These are bunny tail grasses that I grew from seed. I need to cut some of those. And just these sweet, sweet colors. I'm really, really excited. Now this is a pink colored salvia. It hasn't opened up yet, but it's really going to add some striking color to this arrangement. Now I did this in a video, but I planted all around this bed in a circle dahlias that are really growing, snapdragons, a mystery seedling, and everything is starting to take off. It's not doing as great as I wanted it to, but I think it will get there. We just need some really warm, sunny days. So when you look at this space from this direction, you can see this bed looks very different from the one on the right, but it will get there. I'm sure of it. I have another rose right here. And then I've just got dotted in a lot of salvias. Now what we did this week is we added 2 hydrangeas, one there and one over on the side. So I'm excited to see how those fill in. I think this garden just needs probably another year to fill in. I'm not sure why the other side did it so early, but as soon as we get some summer warmth, I think this area will really come to life. I added these little stepping stones. They're dirty right now from all the work yesterday, but they lead to the magnolia tree. And I have got iris and I've got cleome for the summer. And there's some grasses and some fall, let's see, what are those called? It's like black-eyed Susans. I've got lots of things growing in this border. I think it's going to be stunning. We just need to get some summer heat and it's going to come to life. So I can't wait to show it to you later. And before we leave this space, I want to show you this gorgeous lupine. So I started lupines from seed last year, and I planted them actually over on this side. And this one made it. I'm going to have 2 blooms. And then for some reason, the seed flew over here and I've got an actual lupin. I am so excited. Now you have to be careful because these can spread, but you can either let the bloom go to seed and save the seed or the seed head, or let it drop, or you can cut it off and prevent, the seeds from going everywhere. So I may let it self-seed for this season, see what happens. It must have gotten shuffled when we redid this garden bed and got rid of the boxes, but I'm really excited. It's a nice surprise. So in my videos, I talk a lot about the shade garden because I love it. And you get to see these border beds a lot, but I don't often go down the driveway. So I'm going to just walk through and I'll highlight some of the plants. I'm really pleased with the lower part of it. It was the first area we planted, and it's the area on the other side of the arborvitae trees. I planted it with some gorgeous spirea. I keep them trimmed. Then I kind of filled in with some heuchera in a really bright color. And there is a rose of Sharon. It's just come together and it's filled in so gorgeous. It's absolutely kind of the dream for the space. And so it's one of those spaces I really am excited about. And I want to continue that look as we come up to this area. So I've done some new plantings here. I've talked about that in a video, but I will show you this space in more detail right here at the Jane tree once things really start to grow. But let's head down the driveway and I'll give you a look at how just beautiful the layering and the looks are and what you can do with a space that is just kind of boring, negative, and it's kind of coming up a driveway, a skinny garden space. Let's go take a look. Okay, so starting here, this is still part of the garden border. So this is a limelight. You can see the baptisia, and then this is a second baptisia. So this space, I definitely need to add some ground cover and want to work on that. I may even do some evergreen ground cover. But I love these baptisia. I do have a container here. I'm going to pop in some dahlias. I like to have containers that just kind of sneak up. And that purple baptisia, it's just so beautiful. So this is the blue rose of Sharon, and I do keep her trimmed and make sure that she does not come into the driveway. I like to have her more limbed up, but it's kind of a fight because she does try to regrow from the bottom. Now, I do not have issues with her suckering. This is a proven winners, so it's not supposed to sucker like traditional rose of Sharon's. Now, this spirea is similar to the bridal, but it gets really tall, and these gorgeous branches. I've used these in arrangements before. I don't know the name. I'd have to try to find it for you. But again, this one's supposed to get very tall, stays very slim, but those spring blooms are just absolutely gorgeous. So now these are the gorgeous spireas. These are from Proven Winners, and they are just such a gorgeous brightness in this space. So I have heucheras popped in. I have some heather. I love the bright kind of red burgundy against the colors of the spirea. The spirea get these beautiful pink blooms on them. But again, besides weeding, this is a truly no maintenance space. These heucheras are that darker brown, really gorgeous. So let me give you the full view. And then I have it flanked with some lamb's ear, which I'd love to grow more of, which is another great option. And I have totem pole grasses. Now these grasses are great because they cover this large post. I do have to trim them through the season, which is a pain, but they're just so beautiful and they give so much privacy. So I keep them around. Now right here is what I call my tiered garden bed. And we had to tier it when we did our patio. So this is a space that I had to change this year. I lost some plants. So I've added some lavender. It's about to bloom. That is a Lady of Shalott rose, and she's just my favorite. I would have her everywhere. She's beautiful. And then over here I have this turquoise container. I've had it here since we moved in. And then this is the white rose. It is a David Austin, and I don't think they carry it anymore because I can't find it on the site. But once she blooms, I'll take a picture if you're interested in what she is. But she is doing fantastic, and I am so over the moon about this one. I moved her from up above the garden, and she's doing great. I want to add another line. I've got this branch down here kind of poking out down in the bottom. So I'm going to add another line up. I would love for her just to fill in around this little summer kitchen space. So this little building is an original summer kitchen. We did add new windows. It is from before the house was built, so probably in the late 1800s. And it was used to store probably grain and root vegetables and things like that. And it's just a really unique feature on our property. Now this is definitely an all shade garden space, and it's struggled this year. The heucheras are coming back, the sedum, the astilbe are doing fantastic. The ajuga over there, I lost a lot of that ajuga, so I'm going to pop some more in. I have not touched this space. It really needs some attention, so we may work on this in the depths of summer when things are a little bit hot. I like certain spaces to be no maintenance but beautiful, and these two are one of those. I want them to look nice and neat, but I don't see them a lot, so I don't want to have to really maintenance them that much. All right, let's head back up. So we're going to end the tour today right where we started, under this gorgeous trumpet vine. You may hear the church bells in the background. It's definitely time for me to get going and get busy in the garden. But thank you again for watching, for being part of my channel. I hope you'll click like, subscribe, share my channel with garden friends you know, and I can't wait to show you more of the garden as it comes to life. I will definitely do a monthly garden tour this year, and I also plan to do a hydrangea and a rose garden tour, so I can tell you more about those specimens. All right, and I'll keep you updated on the veggies. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.